Hi everyone, welcome back to Sunday Seminar. I am so glad you're here. Today's topic is exciting, it's controversial, and I've been kind of weighing in on it personally, but not professionally for a while because I didn't really think it was a good topic to cloud your judgment. There's so much information out there. There's so many choices to be made every day. And I just didn't know if this one should be one that you should worry about. And then I saw a post on my X feed and I thought, oh, that's interesting. I looked into it a little bit, started down the rabbit hole and thought, oh, what a great topic for Sunday Seminar. So this week's controversial topic is about seed oils. Seed oils are highly processed oil that's extracted from seeds like sunflower seed, safflower, rapeseed that makes canola oil, and soybean oil. And these oils are very, very high in omega-6 fatty acids, which are considered the more pro-inflammatory fatty acid. And they are processed with bleach and other chemicals to remove their taste and color. So a lot of food companies like to use them because they can have consistency in their products. The shelf life is longer, and they are finding that people love them. They taste really good. They're hyper palatable. So the reason that these oils are controversial is because the American Dietary Guidelines, American Heart Association, your average cardiologist, and family doctor are going to tell you, go ahead and eat a diet high in polysaturated fatty acids. That's the general consensus and advice. Now, the reason that they say this is because it lowers your LDL cholesterol. And that's the part of your cholesterol that is linked to heart disease. So they think, oh, we're giving people good advice. We're telling them to eat this oil that lowers their LDL, therefore their risk for cardiovascular disease. Now, the other side says, no, wait, hey, look, over the last 30 years, we've seen a rapid rise in cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, obesity, autoimmune disease, cancer, and all of these things are linked to inflammation, which is caused by the seed oils. And so this other camp says, no, don't do it, don't eat them, avoid them if you can. Now, I've been avoiding the topic because I like to know the mechanism of action. How does something cause inflammation? How does this work? And so far, the studies haven't been there because these studies are really hard to do. To do a study in a human on diet is difficult anyway because, one, seed oils are everywhere. It's very difficult to control what people actually eat. Self-reported diets are terrible, they're flawed. People way overestimate how much they exercise, they underestimate how much they eat. It's very difficult to do these kind of studies. And then furthermore, cardiovascular disease takes 20, 30, 40 years to develop. And these studies are 6 months to maybe 2 years would be a long study. So we're just not seeing the correlation. And so I thought, well, I don't want to bother you with this information if there's not something actionable that you can do. Well, I get this X feed, and the title of it was, "Are Seed Oils Giving You the Munchies?" And I thought, oh, this is great stuff. I read it's a journal article, actually. It's a peer-reviewed journal article. They gave mice these seed oils. They increased their endocannabinoids, which increase hunger. It's the same reward process that cannabis does in our bodies. So if you smoke a joint or eat marijuana and you get the munchies, it's the same process. And so now we know that seed oils give you the munchies and they're really easy to overeat. 2 reasons to avoid these things. Now, where do you find seed oils? They are everywhere. They're in everything. You can see them in processed food, fast food, even your local restaurant uses seed oils. So they are everywhere. They're hard to get away from. I don't recommend being afraid of them. I think there's something to tuck back there as, hey, I should do the best job I can to getting these oils out of my diet, because that way you won't be so hungry. And then something like a food and mood journal, this will help you associate what you're eating and if you actually get full from it. Because what we find is that eating food that's high in seed oils actually cause you to be more hungry. So if you find that an hour after dinner, you're back in the kitchen looking for something to eat, look at what you ate. Maybe you had some seed oils and it was actually triggering you to eat more. Did you know that the standard American diet in 1970 was about 21 to 2200 calories a day? Today, it's 2,700 calories a day, and that's the low estimate. I've seen estimates as high as 3,800, but that is a little bit flawed. What they're seeing is the average is 2,700 calories a day. That, on average, is 500 to 600 more calories per day than we ate 30 years ago. And we're seeing people are 50 to 60 pounds, even more than that, heavier than they were 30 years ago. So if you are gaining weight rapidly, it may just be these seed oils causing you to be hungry, causing you to overeat. All right, what are we going to do about it? Cutting out all seed oils is not that practical. Like I said, they're everywhere in everything. I want to give you some practical advice. Do the best you can to get rid of them. Here are some tips to getting seed oils out of your diet as much as possible. Number 1, check the labels. Check the labels for ingredients like soybean oil, canola oil, safflower oil. These oils are seed oils. They're very high in that pro-inflammatory omega-6. They stimulate your endocannabinoid system and cause the munchies. So you may not feel full after you eat if you're eating a lot of seed oils. Number 2, try to eat whole foods. Chicken, fish, beef, tofu, whatever you eat for your protein, plus a vegetable and a whole food carbohydrate. This is a great way to set up your plate every day and avoid those seed oils. Okay, number 3, home cooking. Try to cook as much as you can at home. That really helps you control the amount you're eating and the ingredients you're eating. Number 4, if you do go out to a restaurant, ask the restaurant, what kind of oil are you cooking with? And can I ask for a different oil? Maybe you want to ask for butter. Maybe you'll avoid the deep fryer. Everything deep fried is in a seed oil. I think the number 1 thing is stop eating fried foods. That will be a huge step in the right direction. But even if you go out, ask for steamed vegetables or sauteed vegetables in a healthy fat from nature. And then let's talk about what kind of fats are healthy. The fats that we consider healthy are butter, lard, beef tallow, coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil. The difference between a polysaturated unfatty acid and a saturated fat is what consistency do they have at room temperature. Polyunsaturated fatty acids are liquid at room temperature, and saturated fats are solid at room temperature. Now, saturated fats, overconsumption of them will raise your LDL, do increase your risk for cardiovascular disease. So you don't want to overconsume saturated fat. Some people will probably choose to disagree with me on this. I welcome your comments, but the studies show time under the graph, the higher your LDL is for as long as it is linked to cardiovascular disease. And like I said, it takes 20, 30, 40 years to develop cardiovascular disease. So those LDL studies that are looking at, the keto studies where they're looking at those really high LDL and saying, my coronary calcium score is normal still, they're not looking 20, 30 years out. This is just, several years out or even 6 months. So we just don't have the studies to support a consistent diet high in saturated fat. But there are times and people who can eat those kind of diets. It's just a personal choice and knowing the risk. So if you find yourself hungry after dinner, hungry after eating, going back and looking for more, look at your diet. Are you eating a lot of seed oils? Is it time to try to get these munchie-causing oils out of your diet? That's a wrap, folks. So glad you came. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.